Viv.
Yeah, is that this man has not actually got a crime that they can pin on him, and how they've managed to say that he's committed an act of espionage, and that's how that they would bring him into an American court, doubtless a secret court, is beyond my comprehension, because they would have to show that he himself stole the documents that he published, and of course he didn't. I do understand that journalists and publishers sometimes assist people by advising them or helping them in some way, but they also don't have any evidence to suggest that he did. So I'm really confused how it is that it's even possible to extradite him. I mean, I realize he's exposed a lot of crimes. And by the way, here's a bit of constitutional law that I learned from John Kiriakou on one of these vigils, is that, sorry, Kiriakou, that man has a very complicated name to pronounce, is that it is illegal to classify, and classify means make secret, documents, or indeed anything that is a crime. Am I right in that, Ray?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Right. So in which case, I think I'm pretty sure about this. I don't think WikiLeaks has exposed anybody's, sort of shopping lists or something. He's exposed crimes.
That's
and
right.
those, yeah. And in which case, I ask again, I don't understand on what legal basis he would be extradited. He hasn't committed any espionage. They have no evidence of that because it's been like donkey's years. If they had evidence of it, they could have produced it, but they haven't. So this is actually just simply gangsterism. It's like, give us the guy who ratted on us, we're going to kill him. And I have the terrible fear that if he does end up in America, they won't kill him, medieval style. They'll kill him, cosmetically cleaned up, can't figure out what happened, 21st century style. And I can't bear that that would happen to someone who, if nothing else, has exposed crimes. That's his only effort. And that effort was in order to prevent wars. And as Ray was saying, wars seem to be necessary for those who presently are in power and make all their money from weaponry. Now, I do think there's some people who are power hungry mixed in that group of people. I don't think it's just money. And I recommend anybody to watch The Night Manager if you haven't. Have you seen that John le Carrier? Anyway, it's a film made by a woman, TV series, brilliant, The Night Manager. And I really recommend people watch that to get a feeling of the type of people that are doing arms trading and the way in which they have a relationship with the government, where the government just drops them on their head should it appear that the government has anything to do with these handy people that do their, essentially supply the weapons in order to create the situation that then they are going to solve. But really, when they solve it, they're simply entering into the economy and powership over another country or an area. So my prayer is that somebody sensible, somebody sensible just points these things out in mainstream news media. I think it just sort of like ends the argument right there. He hasn't committed a crime. There's no evidence to show he committed anything close to being a spy and, stealing things. So other than just being angry that they've been exposed, there's no explanation other than they just want to kill the person that exposed them.
Well, I'm afraid you're right on point, Vivian. I have to say that the legal profession in our country has gone back before 800 years ago, when something called the Magna Carta was agreed to by King John under the pressure of those gutsy nobles. In a more general sense, you point out that we have to expose this. And of course, that's the whole idea, in my view, of this whole arrangement. And we have to address the light and the darkness and justice here. And so I would like to just include a quote from one of my favorite prophets, Dr. King, Martin Luther King, who talked about this. And he compared it to a boil. And what he said was, like a boil that can never be cured unless it is opened up with all its pus flowing ugliness to the natural medicines of air and light. So too injustice must be disclosed with all the friction its disclosure creates to the air of national opinion and the light of human conscience before it can be cured. And that's what we have here. That's what we're doing. We're exposing this. And there is a lot of light. And light, I think, is shown through tonight in a beautiful way, given all the wonderful participants that now I know who they are. And I thank the organizers for doing this. And that's all you'll hear from me. Thank you.